Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Mike Sarkisyan from Spineshank. I'm over here at line 6. I've been checking out the Pod HD Pro and the James Tyler Variax for the last few weeks, and I'm just here to kind of show you what some of the capabilities of this rig are. So what this guitar actually does, and this is the JTV-89. They basically went and modeled a bunch of different guitars, and you can change tunings on the fly, and as a lot of you know, I use a lot of different types of guitars in the studio with different tunings, sometimes even within a song. It sometimes becomes impossible or nearly impossible to replicate live. And this guitar would definitely enable you to do all that and more. You can do some of the most out of this world shit with this thing. The first song that I want to demonstrate kind of what I did in the studio versus what I can do here is our current single, Nothing Left For Me. For the verses of this song, I settled for a Strat, just an old school Strat with a AC30. And then it switches from that to, you know, my main rhythm tone, which was basically I believe it was my Yamaha guitars through Marshalls. And those Yamahas are really technically Les Pauls. They're made to sound like a Les Paul Gold Top. And I came up with a very similar sound. It basically goes something like this. So, I mean, as you saw, I went from an AC30 Strat combo to a Les Paul Marshall combo in just a hit of a switch. Acoustics. Traditionally, what you would do is if you have a song that, you know, has got acoustic guitar in the verses or the choruses, and, you know, it also got electric parts in there. You know, we've all seen this where, you know, dudes have acoustic guitars on stands and, you know, they just kind of back away from that and, you know, start using their electrics. This guitar actually has some of the coolest acoustic models. Exit Wound is a song, it's the last song on our new record actually. It's got a lot of acoustic stuff. It's the first time I really used acoustic in this context in the studio. Before I've always plugged in acoustics into Marshalls and, you know, God knows what the f else, but this is the first time that I used the acoustic guitar, and it's, I guess, the way it was meant to have been used. For the model, I just kind of scrolled through the acoustic presets in there and modified a few, just, you know, messed with the EQs and, you know, whatnot a little bit. So it's something like this. So that's one of the coolest things about this is it's, other than the different electric models you have a lot of different guitar models, a lot of acoustics, 12 strings, you know, sitars and dobros and God knows what else. And speaking of the sitar, we're gonna actually get into a sitar part that I did on our first record over here. It's, if anybody remembers the song Where We Fall, you know, it was something I always heard in the track. But, you know, obviously I didn't have access to a sitar or anything like that. So when we were recording the record, Korn was actually recording next door to us. And for some reason they had a sitar. I don't know what they were doing with it, but we kind of just went and borrowed it from for like 2 hours, kind of brought it in, tuned it, and just kind of played the sitar. And again, it's another thing I've never been able to do live because I'm not about to carry a sitar on tour with us, nor put it on a stand or use it or any of that. So it sounds something like this, you know. I've never been able to go from, you know, that's something you can't do with anything else. You don't exist outside of me. Why you selfish purity? One of the coolest things about this guitar is I could actually use it pretty extensively in the studio for different tones and different you know, textures and things like that. And if you're in the studio and if you're like in your zone, in your creative zone, and just kind of trying to, you know, mess around with stuff. And I'm sure, you know, as you all know, like if you've been in the studio and been creating in the studio, you know, you come up with 100 ideas a day, and most of them are usually but it's that one idea that really counts, makes things happen. It takes a song or a part or whatever it is you're working on to the next level. And this guitar would definitely be part of my arsenal of going into the studio, whether, you know, I'm producing bands or if I'm recording with Spineshank or, you know, anything like that. You know, it's definitely, it would be the go-to guitar for, you know, to take creativity to the next level. If you don't know, I'm Mike Sarkisyan from Spineshank. We got a new record out called Anger Denial Acceptance. It's been out for a few months now. Go check it out. It's, you know, it's got a lot of the stuff that you heard today here, and then some. Get the guitar. It's fun. Check it out. Later. You found the comfort in the wound. It's like you taste the blood again. The way you go in for the kill, and now there's nothing left for me.